Have you ever gazed upon a world so beautiful, so utterly captivating, that you'd risk everything just for a chance to be a part of it? In our last tale, we met the youngest daughter of the Sea King, a mermaid whose heart was not content with the splendors of the deep. She had saved a human prince from a shipwreck, and in that fleeting moment, as she watched him from the shadows, a love as vast as the ocean itself bloomed within her. Every night, as the moon cast its silvery path upon the waves, she would swim to the surface, her eyes fixed on the distant lights of the human world. She'd watch the ships glide by, imagining the life her prince lived, a life of laughter, dancing, and walking on solid ground. The stories her sisters told of the world above, the fragrant flowers, the singing birds, the warmth of the sun, were no longer just tales. They were the whispers of a dream, a deep, aching longing for a life she could only imagine, and a soul she desperately wished to possess. But her kingdom was here, beneath the waves, surrounded by coral palaces and gardens of shimmering sea anemones. Her sisters, with their loving, worried eyes, would swim beside her, their voices like gentle currents. "Forget the world above," they'd plead. "It is not for us. Our home is here, in the embrace of the sea." They reminded her of her duties, of the beauty of their world, of the dangers that lurked for any who dared to defy the ancient laws of their people. They sang her songs of the deep, hoping to soothe the restlessness in her heart. Yet, her heart could not forget. The image of the prince was etched into her soul. His world called to her, a siren song in reverse, pulling her away from her own kind. The more her family tried to hold her back, the more her resolve hardened. She knew there was only one being in the entire ocean who held the power to grant her impossible wish. One who lived in the forbidden, shadowy depths, where no light dared to linger. With a final sorrowful glance at her home, she turned her tail and swam downward, leaving the familiar, sun-dappled waters behind. Descending into the unknown, her journey took her into the abyss, a place whispered about in fearful legends. The vibrant coral gardens gave way to strange, skeletal forests of stone, and the playful fish were replaced by creatures with unsettling, bioluminescent eyes that watched her from the darkness. She swam past the haunting silhouettes of sunken ships, their broken masts like skeletal fingers pointing the way, each one a monument to the ocean's unforgiving power. The silence here was different. It was heavy, broken only by the low, mournful echoes of distant wails and a deep, guttural hum that seemed to vibrate through the very water around her. Every flicker of movement in the periphery made her fins tremble, but the thought of the prince's smile gave her the courage to press on, deeper and deeper into the heart of the abyss, toward the dreaded lair of the sea witch. Finally she arrived. It was a grotto carved into a massive dead volcano, its entrance guarded by polyps that looked like grasping hands. Inside, a sickly green light emanated from the witch's cauldron, casting long dancing shadows on the cave walls. The air, or rather the water, was thick with the scent of strange herbs and ancient magic. And there she was, the sea witch, an ancient being with hair like tangled kelp and eyes that glowed with a malevolent, knowing light. She was stirring a potion that swirled with captured starlight and shadows. She didn't seem surprised to see the Little Mermaid. In fact, a crooked smile spread across her withered face. "I know why you've come, little one," she rasped, her voice like grinding stones. "You've grown tired of your fins. You yearn for a pair of clumsy human legs. You come seeking a power I possess, a magic that can bridge the chasm between your world and his." The mermaid nodded, her heart pounding against her ribs. The witch circled her, her movements unnervingly fluid, her glowing eyes inspecting the mermaid's greatest treasure. Her voice, a voice so pure and beautiful, it enchanted all who heard it. The witch's smile widened. "I can help you," she hissed, her voice dripping with false kindness. "I will craft a potion that will trade your beautiful tail for a pair of legs, so you may walk among them." The mermaid's eyes lit up with hope. "But everything has a price, my dear. A bargain must be struck." She gestured to the mermaid's throat. "Your tail for legs, your voice for silence. I will take your beautiful voice as my payment. You will walk on land, but you will never again speak or sing. That is the bargain." The mermaid recoiled. Her voice was her gift, her identity. But then she thought of the prince. She thought of an immortal soul, a prize only attainable through a human's true love. If that's the price of a soul, she thought. Her decision made in an instant. "I will pay it." The witch laughed, a chilling sound that echoed through the grotto. "Brave but foolish," she cackled, returning to her cauldron. "But there are other conditions." As she stirred the potion, she explained the terrible terms. "This is no gentle magic. The moment your tail splits, it will feel as though a sword is being driven through you. And with every step you take upon those new legs, it will be like walking on 1,000 sharp knives. It will be an agony you must hide behind a graceful smile." The mermaid's hopeful expression faltered. The witch continued, her voice dropping to a menacing whisper. "And you have but one chance. You must win the prince's true love, so much so that he forgets his own family for you and allows a priest to join your hands. If you succeed, you will gain an immortal soul. But if you fail, if he marries another, at the dawn of his wedding day, your heart will break and you will dissolve into foam upon the sea, lost forever." Images flooded the mermaid's mind. The prince's face, fading away, the desperate crying voices of her sisters, calling her name. The price was not just her voice, it was her life, her very existence. But her love was stronger than her fear. She looked at the witch, her eyes filled with a desperate, unwavering resolve, and nodded. A deal was a deal. The witch ladled the potion into a single, polished shell. It glowed with a terrifying, beautiful light, swirling with all the colors of a dying sunset. It pulsed with a life of its own. "Drink it all," the witch commanded, "and swim to the shore before the sun rises." With a trembling hand, the mermaid took the shell. She closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and brought it to her lips. She drank. The magic was instantaneous and overwhelming. A searing fire tore through her body. The world around her went silent, save for the frantic, deafening pound of her own heartbeat. Then came the pain, a blinding white-hot agony as her tail began to split. The ocean itself seemed to roar in her ears as the transformation consumed her. And then there was only darkness. She awoke to the gentle lapping of waves against her skin and the unfamiliar sensation of rough sand beneath her. Her first breath of air was a shock, sharp, crisp, and so different from the water that had been her home. She pushed herself up, her limbs weak and shaky. She looked down and saw them. Not a shimmering tail, but 2 perfect human legs. The agony the witch had promised was real. A sharp, grinding pain with every tiny movement. But she was here. She was human. She had made it. The rising sun painted the sky in hues of rose and gold, and the world was quiet, serene. She was alone, mute, and in pain, but a strange sense of peace washed over her. She had crossed the impossible divide. Her quiet moment was broken by a voice calling out. She looked up, and her heart stopped. It was him, the prince. He was walking along the shore, his face etched with curiosity and concern, as he approached the mysterious, silent girl he had found by the water's edge. He had no idea who she was, no idea of the sacrifice she had just made for him, no idea that the girl who had saved his life now stood before him. Her voice was gone. She had lost everything she had ever known, but her journey had only just begun.